So during the NFL Week 6, two quarterbacks had a bad time. Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. First of all, Marcus Mariota, the Titans quarterback, yes, his offensive line is bad, but he is not good enough. In the third quarter of the game last week against the Broncos, he threw a second interception. He got pulled. He got yanked from the game. Got replaced by Ryan Tannehill. And although Ryan Tannehill didn't score, Ryan Tannehill did a lot better job than Mariota. Regularly, it's a common occurrence. Marcus Mariota is not good enough. I don't like saying that. I like the guy. But the player, Marcus, not delivering. And I keep waiting, and I keep waiting, and I keep waiting. And it's year 5, and still hasn't popped. That's still not good enough. He no-showed against the two good defense he played against this year. He played against the Bills and the Colts and dropped a goose egg. It was pretty bad. And the only real success that Marcus Mariota's had this year has been against two bad teams, the Cleveland Browns and the horrible Atlanta Falcons defense. I mean, so Marcus Mariota's not working. And as bad a week as Mariota had getting benched on Sunday, Jameis Winston was somehow even worse. Against the Panthers, he had 6 turnovers, 5 interceptions, and a fumble. And by the way, he fumbled twice. Just one of them his own team recovered. It was hard to watch. Bad, inaccurate passes, horrible footwork. And it was really funny. You know, they played against the Panthers. And seeing Jameis Winston contrasted against the Panthers quarterback, Kyle Allen, was very interesting. It just was like, oh, wow. You know, on one hand, Kyle Allen is very solid. He's rarely incredible, but he's very good. He does his job well. And on the other hand, you have Jameis Winston. And Jameis Winston has these moments that are incredible. He makes a great throw into really tight coverage. You go, wow, that's just eye-popping. You know, he's really, really physically talented. But for all the great moments you get with Jameis, you have these horrible moments that are just unacceptable. Just awful throws and bad decisions. Kyle Allen is like very, very steady. Jameis Winston is like, oh, just up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. You're like, I can't handle this roller coaster at all. You know, you ever been to Disneyland? I went to Disneyland once when I was a really, really young kid. And Jameis Winston, this ridiculous roller coaster, and Kyle Allen is the ride that it's like the, what is it, Little Big Planet? I can't remember what it is, but they ride through like, it's the river walk. It's very slow, little calm water. You get on a canoe and just very calmly ride down. Nothing really incredible happens. Nothing really bad happens. It's very mundane, and then it's over. And you're like, oh, cool. And they sing the word. What's that little song? It's a song with like Little Big World, I think is what it's called. The point is this. Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston were both drafted in 2015. This is their 5th NFL season. And if they were going to get better, it would have happened by now. I've been waiting, and it's not working out. And when I think of these two quarterbacks, here's where my mind goes. The two of them are not complete, utter, horrible failures. You know, the Chargers once drafted a quarterback named Ryan Leaf. He was a complete, utter failure in the NFL. He bombed and was terrible. I think of the movie, you know, 47 Ronin was a movie with Keanu Reeves in it. It was a disaster. They lost $98 million. It bombed. No one liked it. It was terrible. Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota are not that. They're not complete failures. But they're also not a success story. I think about the movie Solo. It's the Han Solo Star Wars spinoff. And, you know, I didn't really like the movie Solo, but it had good moments. I didn't hate it. You know, and they really struggled in the production phase. It's really funny. In the developing process, they fired the director. And they brought in a new guy named Ryan Howard. Ryan. I think Ryan Howard's from The Office. They brought in Ron Howard, a director I really like. He directed Rush with Chris Hemsworth. He also did Apollo 13. He made A Beautiful Mind. He's a good director who's done good work in the past. It makes me think of, Jameis Winston had a head coach that got fired, Dirk Cutter. They removed him. They replaced him with Bruce Arians. And Bruce Arians, similar to Ron Howard, Bruce Arians is a guy who's done good work in the past. He's worked with Peyton Manning, Big Ben, Andrew Luck. And Ron Howard, a really good director who's done good work, things I like. I think he made one of the, what's the movie with Tom Hanks? He made one of the, I think he made Inferno. Anyway, point is this. Even Ron Howard couldn't save the movie Solo. And even Bruce Arians, a good head coach, cannot save Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota have had good moments, but they've never been the success we wanted. Never been the franchise quarterback that everybody wanted from them. Both won Heisman trophies in college, came in the same draft class, and they've just never quite lived up to the expectations. The movie Solo had good moments. In fact, Han Solo is one of my 3 favorite characters of all time. It's Han Solo, Captain Kirk, and Captain Jack Sparrow. I love the 3 of them. I wanted to love this movie, and I didn't. But it made some good money, and again, I admit, I enjoyed parts of it. The Han Solo movie made $392.9 million at the box office. That's a lot of money. The problem was, despite some success, they needed to make $500 million to break even. They did not. And Disney had planned to make a trilogy series, and they canceled it. They canceled their long-term plans because the movie wasn't good enough. Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston. Do you get the point? Do you understand what I'm talking, the analogy here? Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston are both in the last year of their contracts, and the long-term plan is getting canceled. They've not been good enough. They've never, ever lived up to the expectation that they would become franchise quarterbacks. They've never been good enough. The long-term plan failed. They were not horrible busts. Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, they were not Ryan Leaf. They were not that awful. They weren't a train wreck. But they've also never become the franchise quarterbacks that everybody wanted them to become. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. And I want to be very clear and open with the audience. My YouTube channel is monetized. What that means is that some of my videos make ad revenue. It's fewer than you think. A lot of them get claimed. But in the past, I've received donations from people on Patreon and PayPal. PayPal.me/Zach Schaumler. Patreon.com/Zach Schaumler. And because I'm making ad revenue, it felt kind of weird just receiving donations. I wanted to give something back for the donations. And so people who support me on Patreon can give me $1 a month, and that allows them access to a pool where they can ask questions. If you send me questions through Patreon's DM service, you comment on one of my posts on Patreon. If you give $1 a month, you can submit questions. And with my eyeballs, I look at every single question submitted. Then at the end of my podcast, I pick the best top couple questions and read them on the show and answer them in a segment I call Ask Zach. Now, that's for people who have money and want to support me that way. If you have no money to give, no problem. I totally understand. I grew up in a mobile home. I've been a broke college kid. I totally get it. But if you want to help in some capacity at the end, you can support the show by telling your friends about it. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow by telling your friends about this show. It would mean a lot to me. If you believe in my dream and you believe in this show, tell your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Guys, my name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so very much, and hope you have a great day.